KwaZulu-Natal traffic authorities say they are concerned about bad driving behavior as many people are making their way to their holiday destinations ahead of Christmas. Let's get an update now on the traffic volumes along the N3. We're now joined via video link by N3 Toll Concession COO Thania Dhoogra. Thania, very good afternoon to you and thank you so much for your time. We've been hearing, of course, that traffic volumes on the major freeways, including the N1, N3, N4, N12, are expected to increase significantly from today. Just give us a sense of the current situation on the N3 and your preparations during this festive peak travel period.
Good afternoon, and good afternoon to all your viewers. At present, the N3 is fairly clear. Traffic is flowing. We did have an earlier crash incident that caused a bit of a backlog and did have an impact disrupting the flow of traffic for a little while, including a backup at the Moy Toll Plaza that resulted in volumes of about just under 2,000 vehicles an hour being processed. But fortunately, all of that has been cleared. But yes, we have seen significant volumes of vehicles on the route from as early as 6 o'clock this morning, with many travelers heading southbound into KwaZulu-Natal. We were expecting today to be a bit busier, to be honest, but I'm not unhappy that the volumes were manageable at the rates that we did record. But we are therefore expecting that we will likely see quite an increase in volumes on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, and that probably is of some concern to you because you would want, I would imagine that, those traffic volumes are staggered before people push for the very last day to then be on the roads.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, even with 1,200 vehicles an hour, that's fairly congested on the route. I mean, we've been processing between 12,000 and 13,000 vehicles per day at Dhoogra and Moy River toll plazas, which is significantly higher than we would typically be processing at either of those sites on an average day. That just means that the road is congested at those times, and with many more people expected to then be making their way into the coast, especially with expectancy or occupancy volumes of about 80% being reported by the tourism in the area. It's likely that many of those people are only going to be hitting the route on the 24th, and that means it's going to be even more congested than it has been, with the added issue of the weather being as volatile as it has been and the likeliness of wet weather over Christmas as has been reported by the weather services. That's going to contribute to more difficult driving conditions for our road users.
Yeah, and I mean, KwaZulu-Natal authorities have specifically, warned about bad driving during this period. What are some of your concerns, particularly as it relates to behavior of motorists?
Well, we definitely are echoing that same sentiment as the KZN authorities. I mean, our statistics are showing that about 60% of our crashes that have been recorded from January this year have been single vehicle crashes, which speaks to the fact that it's most likely human error that are the cause of those crashes. That will talk to reckless driving, distracted driving, speeding, unsafe overtaking and not being visible enough on the road, but also could potentially be as a result of vehicles not necessarily being in a roadworthy condition. Especially with significant volumes on the route, you will find that a single crash can have quite a big impact on road users. And unfortunately, as we all know, the minute there's a delay, we tend to become impatient. We tend to then try to make up that time, and then that leads to more reckless behavior with speeding, etc. Also, it's the holidays, so the tendency for people to let go and unwind with a drink here or there means that we'll likely have people thinking that it's safe for them to be on the roads under the influence, and obviously that just increases those risks for other road users. But also law enforcement are out on the road, as you can see, and they will be clamping down on all of those road users because we really want to ensure that everyone reaches their destination safely, and we're all doing our utmost to ensure that that happens.
And very quickly, as we wrap up our conversation, for those, of course, we know that there's a lot of tourists that are also not familiar with our roads, those that will be making their way through that particular stretch of road who don't necessarily know it very well. What are some of your key messages for them?
Well, the most important thing that I would say is, apart from please stick to the basic road safety rules, it's those simple tenets of don't speed, follow the signs posted speed limit, adjust your driving style to the prevailing conditions, make sure you only overtake when it's safe to do so, wear your seat belts, and make sure you're visible by keeping your headlights turned on. Those are the safety tenets, the basic ones. But apart from that is to please be informed and be prepared. So follow N3 route on X. We'll keep you updated about everything that's happening on the N3 toll route, from crashes, weather, as well as traffic statistics. And as always, please, please, please follow the instructions of law enforcement officials.